For nearly 30 years, everyone knew Elias as the man who prepared the mountain. He never swung the pick in search of riches. He never loaded carts or carried ore to the surface. His work came long before the miners arrived. He studied the rock. He listened to the earth. Then he dug the first tunnels, placed the timber supports, measured the air shafts, and marked the safest paths through the mountain. When his work was finished, other men entered and returned carrying gold, silver, iron, and precious stones. Every prosperous mine in the valley began with his hands. The miners became wealthy. The merchants praised the miners. The towns celebrated the miners. But few ever remembered the man who made it possible for them to enter safely. That was enough for Elias, or so he believed. One autumn morning, an old map arrived in a weathered leather tube. No owner, no signature, only a single sentence was written across the top. "There is one mountain you have never prepared." Elias frowned. He knew every ridge for 100 miles, every cliff, every valley, every abandoned shaft, yet the map showed a place he had never seen. Curiosity is a strange thing. It whispers louder than certainty. So he packed his tools and left before sunrise. The journey was harder than expected. The mountain did not stand taller than the others. It simply asked more of him. The trail disappeared. The wind refused to stay still. Even the birds avoided its slopes. After several days, he reached the place marked on the map. Nothing. No signs of previous digging, no abandoned equipment, only solid stone. He almost laughed. "I've traveled all this way for an empty mountain." Still, a lifetime of experience had taught him one lesson. Stone always tells the truth. He struck the mountain with the back of his hammer. Once, twice, 3 times. On the 4th strike, the mountain answered differently. A hollow echo. He began to dig. 1 day became 3. 3 became 7. The work felt strangely personal. Every swing of the pick echoed through his chest as much as through the stone. There was no audience, no miners waiting, no contracts, no promises of payment, only sweat, silence, and faith that something hidden deserved to be found. Several times he nearly quit. The rock grew harder. His hands bled. He questioned the map. He questioned himself. But every morning the same quiet conviction met him before the sun. Keep digging. Weeks later, the wall cracked, not with violence, with surrender. Light reflected from somewhere beneath the stone. At first, Elias thought it was water. Then he brushed away the dust. Silver, not a vein, not scattered fragments, an enormous chamber lined with silver, brighter than moonlight. He fell to his knees, not because of the wealth, because of the mystery. In all his years preparing mines for others, he had never imagined such treasure could exist beneath ground no one had touched. He sat there for hours, no excitement, no plans, only questions. Then his eyes wandered back toward the tunnel he had carved. Every support beam, every careful measurement, every lesson learned from preparing mines for strangers had prepared him for this one. The mountain was never the reward. The man becoming capable of reaching the silver, that had been the reward all along. When Elias returned to the valley, everyone expected stories about riches. Instead, he accepted only enough silver to repair his tools. The rest remained untouched beneath the mountain. People called him foolish, others called him humble. Neither title interested him. What interested him was the look in the eyes of the young miners who came asking why he had left so much behind. He simply smiled and handed each of them a shovel. Then he said, "Most men spend their lives digging through other people's mountains." He pointed toward the horizon. But every man has one mountain that was meant only for him. and you'll never discover what's buried beneath your feet until you're willing to dig where no one has been.